Today I'm reacting to your wrestling hot takes. I do these once a week, so if you want to be in next week's video, you have to submit your hot take to me on Twitter at Mr. Santisap every Friday when I ask. Link is down in the description below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring that bell for notifications if you're a wrestling fan. I'm really confident that you're gonna like this channel because we upload daily wrestling content. We don't miss days, baby. All right, let's jump into it. Brock ending Kofi Kingston's WWE Championship reign in a squash match was the right decision. But why? Like, I get if the WWE wanted to put the title on Brock Lesnar, but why do it in the way that they did by belittling Kofi Kingston's long WWE Championship reign, a championship reign that started with one of the most heartwarming stories that WWE has seen in years. In my opinion, they should have just had a solid 15-20 minute match on free television to help create buzz for SmackDown on Fox. They ended up creating buzz, but the negative type of buzz. And Brock Lesnar is very capable of having fantastic matches with the guys the size of Kofi Kingston. Just look at Daniel Bryan matches, look at the AJ Styles match. Like, he is capable of doing this, but they chose to go with a cheap route, all for the purposes of setting him up to have a match with Cain Velasquez, and Cain Velasquez ended up really doing nothing in the WWE. So even with hindsight, this is a terrible decision. Cactus Jack was the worst Mick Foley character. Oh, no. I disagree here. Whenever Cactus Jack appeared, you knew shit was about to get serious and we were gonna have a nasty hardcore match. Becky's promos are awful. Okay, I've got something to say about this, but I disagree. I think she's one of the best promo artists in the WWE, period. Not just the women's division, but the entirety of the WWE. She can tell a really emotional story whenever she's on the mic, and she's really good at connecting with the audience. She's really good at connecting with the people watching at home, and whenever she's a heel, she can get under people's skin. The one problem I have with a Becky Lynch promo, and once you hear her, you can't unhear it, is that she takes these big breaths whenever she's losing her breath. I hate to say it, but Ellie Night botches too much, and that may ruin his push. He's not the cleanest in the ring. You're not wrong here. And if he continues to make mistakes in the ring, then yeah, absolutely, it can definitely derail his push. But I don't think that he's this like botch machine a la Nia Jax or anything like that. Just sometimes the moves don't go as smooth as maybe we'd like them to be. But at the end of the day, those mistakes or botches, whatever you want to call them, don't end up injuring people. They just don't look great on television. The Cruiserweight Classic is one of the best things that WWE has produced in the history of its existence. The amount of brain-melting matches produced is a testament to its greatness. Yeah, this was such a cool time to be a WWE fan. It felt like the WWE had embraced the independent circuit in a way that it's never done so ever again. We really did have some face-melting matches. This was the start of the Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa story. That, to me, was the best match of the entire tournament, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many fantastic matches in the Cruiserweight Classic. Honestly, they should have just left it at that, just like this worldwide independent promotion tournament, as opposed to then turning it into this third brand that became 205 Live, because it really bastardized what the Cruiserweight Classic was. But Gabriel here is 100% right. The Cruiserweight Classic is, I don't know if it's the greatest thing in the existence of the WWE, but it's fucking awesome. Alberto Del Rio is the most talented Mexican wrestler that has ever stepped foot in the WWE. I like Alberto Del Rio. I really believe that he is an incredibly talented technician in the ring, but I don't think that he's the most talented Mexican wrestler to ever step foot in the WWE. I think that Eddie Guerrero would like to have a conversation with you. Well, actually, Eddie Guerrero wasn't born in Mexico, so you might be onto something here. Yeah, he was born in El Paso, Texas, so he's Mexican heritage? Okay, look, either way, I don't disagree that Alberto Del Rio is fantastic. He just ended up being a pretty shitty human being. The Miz is a top 15 WWE wrestler of all time. I believe he's very overlooked and he's one of the best on the mic ever. Top 15, I don't know, I feel like we're just coming up with arbitrary numbers. Well, the Great Khali is a top 49 wrestler of all time. Okay, let's pick a nice round number. Top 5, top 10, come on, what are we doing with top 15? Either way, I love your sentiment towards The Miz because I love The Miz as well. I do think that he's one of the greatest on the mic. overlooked? Absolutely. I believe that The Miz has become this acquired taste, kind of like avocado. I hated avocado when I was a kid, and now I love avocado on everything. So he's kind of just grown on not just me, but just about everyone in the WWE universe. And now they realize just how good The Miz really is. And I maybe not necessarily agree that it was because he was overlooked earlier on in his career. I just think that he's put on the work to improve and improve and improve. But as of today, I think he's one of the best workers that the WWE has. And in that sense, I do think that he's overlooked. Eugene was amazing and made Monday Night Raw super fun. Same with Crime Time. Look, when Eugene and Crime Time were a thing on Monday Night Raw, I was really young. And they were really silly gimmicks that made for fun and funny television segments, but I didn't really realize how much of a caricature of certain aspects of society they were. These are gimmicks that don't really have a place in the WWE today, and I think for good reason. And I'm not just some like woke guy, but like really like the interpretation of having a special needs guy in the WWE get bullied by everyone in the back room and two black guys being criminals. Like, I don't know, it doesn't age very well. And I don't think it's something that we should shine a light on in today's WWE. But yeah, as a kid, I didn't really connect those dots, that those were really negative stereotypes. So I'm not going to roast you over the coals for this, because as a kid, I was really entertained by it, but it's not something that has a place in the WWE today. I will comment this until you see it. The Rock versus Hulk Hogan WrestleMania 18 is a bad match. Well, I mean, if you're looking for Kurt Angle versus Benoit, then yeah, sure, it's a bad match, but it is a great wrestling show spectacle. I think that there's an argument that this may be the greatest WWE match of all time, even though the in-ring work was pretty shoddy, as you're alluding to here. I mean, The Rock is good, but he can't carry Hulk Hogan through a 5-star match. No one can. But it was all about the electricity in the air. The fact that we were getting a dream match of generations colliding that we never thought was possible. We had the 80s Hulk Hogan, Say Your Prayers, Eat Your Vitamins, NWO taking on the great one, the Brahma Bull, the representation of the WWE taking on the representation of WCW and old WWF. And they were coming together in a match that everyone thought was impossible. And what's so cool about this is that The Rock was supposed to be the good guy in this, but nostalgia just awoke in everyone in the Super Sky Dome in Toronto, and everybody started rooting for Hulk Hogan. The match itself isn't great, but the atmosphere, the fans made that so electric, and the moment that we were getting to see was iconic. So okay, it's a bad match, but it's such an important and great moment in the WWE. Wrestling fans constantly posting spoilers and rumors everywhere has ruined the ability for good surprises to occur consistently, and has even ruined plans in attempts to surprise fans with the unexpected. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're kind of just trying to fight an uphill battle against the nature that is the internet. Like, it's just, you're not wrong, but to be fair, man, this is a losing battle because the internet's not going to go anywhere, and the accessibility that now we have to information is unprecedented compared to what you might have been used to in the Ruthless Aggression Era, Attitude Era. There's no such thing as secrets anymore because everything leaks, and it's all about getting clicks and impressions, so spoiling things is the best way to do that. That being said, the WWE is fucking guilty of this too. It's not just the fans. Whenever they have a big surprise, for some reason, they'll announce it the week before. It's very rare that the WWE will allow an organic surprise to happen, and maybe it's because they know it's gonna leak. Maybe you're right in this sense, but the last real genuine surprise that I feel that we got was Edge returning back at the Royal Rumble in 2020. Johnny Gargano is the best in-ring WWE wrestler of all time. Oh, my sweet summer child. I love Johnny Gargano, but he's not even close. He's great, but come on, there's so many people ahead of him. Ricochet is a glorified gymnast and shouldn't be near the main event title until he can cut a promo or can get someone to do it for him. That second part of get somebody to do it for him, I don't know why, but I just don't feel like that fits Ricochet. I think maybe it's because of his type of moveset and his personality. Just getting somebody to do promos for him, I don't think really fits him, at least at this moment in his career. But a glorified gymnast, I think that's a little too far. I think he's a fantastic high flyer, a fantastic luchador as well, and he can be a great technician. In terms of being near the main event title until he can cut a promo, I agree with you. And I think the Logan Paul feud was kind of the barometer as to see if whether or not he was ready for that main event push. And I'm going to be honest, I think Logan Paul kind of cooked him when it came to promo battles and on the mic. So I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be ready for the main event and anytime soon, because I don't see his promo abilities being there yet. Roman Reigns 100% should pass Bruno's record. Look, I don't hate the idea of a modern day guy having the record, but that is so many days. Like, that is like 3 or 4 more years left of Roman Reigns, and I just don't think that today's WWE fan base can tolerate that, and I don't think I can either. I was the one calling for a 1,000-day plus Roman Reigns reign back when he was at like 150 days. And hey, there's evidence online of me saying it, okay? I'm not just some Roman Reigns stan, but dude, I don't think I could deal with 4 years of Roman Reigns being champion. If Logan Paul were to do wrestling full time, he easily could be a world champion and a top star in the WWE. I 100% agree. In fact, if he didn't have the baggage from his social media career going into the WWE, if he went into the WWE and as an unknown and worked his way up from the Performance Center, I 100% agree. This guy is clearly a natural. It's just he has so much baggage with his personal life and with his other professional endeavors that it makes it really difficult for a huge portion of the audience to really take him seriously. But if I'm just looking at things objectively, black and white, if I look at Logan Paul as a talent, he is incredibly talented, and 100% he's got it all to be a world champion. He's got the physique, he's got the look, he's got the skill, and he's got the mic work. He's got it all. American Badass Undertaker was better than Deadman Undertaker. My man, that's a losing battle, and I know, because I actually agree with you. I just resonate a lot more with the American Badass, but we're never going to win that argument online because the Deadman is just significantly far more iconic than the American Badass ever was. I just resonated a lot more with the American Badass because that was a human that I was rooting for, or a human that I was rooting against with genuine thoughts, motivations, etc., while the Deadman was just this omnipresent being within the WWE that was ever powerful that I didn't really know how to connect to. Unmasking Kane ruined his career. Well, it was Kane's decision to become unmasked because he hated wrestling with a mask, and I don't blame him. I'm sure it's very difficult to do so. But I don't think so. I don't think that it ruined his career. In fact, I think it elevated it for quite a while there. When he became unmasked, he was the biggest heel in the entire WWE for like an entire year. So no, I don't think that it ruined his career. In fact, he lasted another, like almost 13 years in the business after being unmasked. So clearly, he still had a lot of legs left to go, and he won some world championships after being unmasked and held the world title longer being unmasked than when he was masked. So I don't know if there's a lot of validity to this. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn aren't good tag team champions and is ruining the tag team division. Yeah, but this is all hindsight because I agree, but it's because Kevin Owens is hurt and Sami Zayn doesn't have a partner and they aren't defending the titles because of certain circumstances. So yeah, they are great tag team champions because they're not defending the damn things and they're not helping elevate the tag team division. I don't know if it's ruining the tag team division because I would say the tag team division is flourishing in spite of them. We're having great matches with Imperium, Alpha Academy. We now have Glass Bro. We had the Viking Raiders putting on fantastic matches. We have the Street Profits being elevated to another echelon. So I think the tag team division is healthy. I think what the tag team division needs now are some titles. I'm tired of WWE lifers criticizing AEW. Can we enjoy them as two separate shows? It has flaws, yes, but since AEW, wrestling as a product has gotten better. I agree. I think competition always forces the cream to rise to the top. I think it's cringe when people criticize AEW for the sake of literally just criticizing AEW. Like, I'm seeing people trying to belittle AEW's ticket sales for All In. Like, who cares? Like, a show that big is good for professional wrestling. It means that the business is flourishing. Does it have flaws? Yeah, but AEW can be fucking awesome. And I just started giving AEW a chance back in May, and I'm very happy with the decision to do so. Yeah, okay, like, it's not a perfect wrestling show, but it's definitely a great alternative to, especially when WWE WWE isn't providing a good product, but he's not wrong. Since AEW has come around, WWE has been better. WWE should start allowing more WWE superstars from a non-English speaking country to cut promos in their native language if they wish to do so. That's really interesting, and I like where you're going with this approach, but there's a problem, and that is WWE culture within the United States, and I want you to stay in your seats. I'm not about to insult America. This is a problem with the WWE, not necessarily the American fan base. The problem is that for decades, the WWE has done the following equation. Foreign equals bad guy. Not English equals we boo. They've been doing that ever since the 80s. So if you're asking for WWE superstars to cut a promo on anything outside of English, you are by de facto pigeonholing them to being a heel. And that sucks, because I agree. I think it'd be neat to be able to have a more of a worldwide reach and allow these WWE superstars to cut promos in multiple languages. But yeah, if you cut a promo in a language that isn't English and you're in front of an American audience, you're gonna get booed. That's why people like Santos Escobar, Rey Mysterio, whenever they say something in Spanish, ellos dicen algo en español, they say something in Spanish, they immediately translated right on screen. So it would be cool, but it just forces them to be one-dimensional, because the WWE has trained American audiences to believe that a foreign speaker is a heel. Sponsored matches need to not be a thing anymore, or better incorporate them into storylines. Dude, sponsored matches suck. There hasn't been a single good one. We had the Mountain Dew match. Remember that terrible zombie match where the Miz got eaten by zombies? I'm sure you remember that. I know it's somewhere deep in your brain. You tried to forget it, but I'm going to try and bring it back out. AEW just had a terrible embarrassment with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match. And then, you know, like the product placement within the WWE is getting a little bit silly, but they need to pay the bills somehow. But I don't know if paying the bills with gimmicky sponsored matches is the way to go. I think the best way to do it is how Slim Jim did the Battle Royal. Yeah, the Battle Royal brought you by Slim Jim. Why not, right? The triple threat match brought you by Toyota. Okay, like I can live with that so long as it doesn't impact the flow of the match and the narrative that the match is trying to tell, then I can get on board with having sponsored matches. But the way that WWE, AEW does it, with like really incorporating them with how the match goes, it sucks. I think if we want to do like a Mountain Dew match, I think it would be, okay, all right, the match brought you by Mountain Dew, and yeah, okay, maybe there's a bunch of Mountain Dew inspired weapons. I could get behind that, but they don't do that. They instead make the narrative about the sponsorship, and it really, really hinders the match. Bianca Belair is the most overrated female wrestler of all time. Oh God. Look, I don't think that Bianca Belair is overrated. I just think that for me, she's not written in a way that I would enjoy a character. But what I've come to realize is that she's not written for me. She's written for an entirely different demographic that has been severely unrepresented in the world of the WWE for a really long time. Do I find Bianca Belair boring? Yes. Do I hate the Super Cena-like nature of her? Yes. Before people are like, well, that's hypocritical. You love Cena. I hate Super Cena. Cena from 2008 to early 2011 was borderline unwatchable. I started falling in love with Cena again when CM Punk came around and forced him to become more human, when he got destroyed by Brock Lesnar, when he wasn't Super Cena. And I think that we're seeing shades of 2008, 2011 Cena with current day Bianca Belair, with her busting her knee apart and then still somehow coming back that same match to win the title. That's just poor writing in my opinion. But again, it's not written to win me over. It's written to win other people over. So overrated in the ring? Absolutely not. I think she's fantastic. Her athleticism is amazing. When she wants to cut a good promo, she cuts a good promo. She's just given kind of shitty, really, really rudimentary writing as a character. So I got to disagree. I don't think that she's overrated. I just think that she's poorly written for. Babyface champions never have a good reign and can't have a good reign. Disagree with the second part. I do think that they can have a good reign, but I think that there's something here that we can agree with, in that the babyface is always just better off being the one chasing the championship as opposed to being the gatekeeper of the championship. Let's go back to Bianca Belair. I think that she is so much more interesting when she's chasing the title than when she's he's the final boss. And I think that goes the same with just about every single babyface. It's just a more entertaining storyline to see the person that we're trying to root for overcome challenges and try and make it to the top, as opposed to trying to stay to the top. And I think that's just a problem with, I think, just narrative writing in general. I think as humans, we want to see our heroes earn that spot as opposed to our heroes keep that spot, if that makes sense. The Ruthless Aggression Era is greater than the Attitude Era. Obviously, I'm biased here because I grew up with the Ruthless Aggression Era. I really wasn't old enough to be watching wrestling during the Attitude Era. A lot of people ask, how old are you? You look like you're 75. I'm 30. I've just looked like a 37-year-old Dominican baseball player since I was 15. But I actually don't agree with this. I think the Attitude Era is the more complete era of professional wrestling. It had its mega stars. It had storylines that are remembered to this day, but there is something really special about the Ruthless Aggression Era that I don't think can ever be replicated, because the Ruthless Aggression Era came about a perfect storm of terrible things happening to the WWE. One, losing the trademark to the WWF and forcing them to repackage themselves as the WWE. That repackaging kind of forces like a hard reset in the company. Two, the biggest stars in the WWE left. Stone Cold, gone. The Rock, gone. Brock Lesnar, who they picked to be their next guy, gone. So the Ruthless Aggression Era is special because it was an era of growth in professional wrestling where they're like, oh shit, we have no megastars. We have to try so many different things to find our new star, to find our new Stone Cold. And as they kept trying to throw things on the wall, it led to things like Eddie Guerrero. It led to things like JBL. I don't love him, but it gave Chris Benoit a chance. It gave Booker T a chance to get into the main event of a WrestleMania. It also gave younger stars the opportunity, like John Cena, Batista, Edge, Rey Mysterio. So rather than it just being an era of wrestling where there were established megastars that could carry the company, the WWE was forced to try and create a new one. They eventually landed on John Cena, but in the process, they ended up making a dozen stars, which is why the Ruthless Aggression Era is so near and dear to so many people's hearts, because it shaped professional wrestling for the next 20 years by giving us the likes of Brock Lesnar. He ended up coming back, but Brock Lesnar, Batista, John Cena, Randy Orton, Edge, CM Punk, just so many people came out of the Ruthless Aggression Era, and it was because WWE was just trying to find their next Hulk Hogan. But I think narratively, the Attitude Era is just a more complete era of professional wrestling, so I disagree with this, but I did love the Ruthless Aggression Era. All right, that's it. Submit yours for next week on Twitter. Link below. Get out of here.